Hello guys, so this is Board Gaming and I am here to share how I made my DIY hitbox for just 10 to $15. So this is a $10 to $15 hitbox build, or in terms of pesos it's around 500 to 600 pesos. It's not too much. So please like and subscribe, and currently we're in the project or in the process of remastering some of our videos, if not most of our top 10 retro game videos, and adding more context and playing through them also. So the first agenda. Recently, Street Fighter 6 has been a big hit, and the fighting game community is enjoying it. For me, at least, I am enjoying it. I enjoy playing Street Fighter again. It's kind of retro, but it's new game. So yeah, so I got into playing it with my DS4 controller and a Adobe 7-in-1 fight stick. And then recently, I've been missing some inputs with it, so I looked at hitboxes, but they are quite expensive, at least for me. So take a look at this. These are some of the hitbox controllers that I considered buying, but they are too expensive for me right now. The Punk Workshop Hitbox Arcade, it's $160 or 9,000 pesos. RTU Mini Hitbox, this is $92 or 5,200 pesos. The Fightbox B1 Mini PC, or the B1, is 4,000 pesos to 4,500. There are a lot more hitboxes available, and these are the cheapest that I found, or at least there are some cheaper versions, but they are still expensive for me. The price is not far from this one. So I decided to do some research and found out that we would be using an RP2040, which is some of the motherboards used in some Slimbox builds. A DuPont female to male connectors to connect our buttons to our pre-soldered RP2040. The 24mm arcade button and the 30mm button for the arcades, and then 2.8 terminal connector so that we can connect this to the pins of the button. So with that, let's get on with the build. So for me, this is what cost for me to buy this build. So the RP2040 pre-soldered, it's 183 pesos or around $3. It ships from China. It's very decent. It's very good. It has 1 millisecond response time. So it now depends on the buttons. But for me, I just wanted to try the layout first. So I didn't go into buying the very expensive buttons. Maybe in the future I'll buy it one by one if something breaks down. But for now, I really like the 30mm button from Circuit Rocks here in the Philippines. It's very soft. It's like a red switch. And then the 24mm buttons that came from China are like the blue switches of your keyboard. It's quite hard to press, but nonetheless it gets the job done. So for the 40-pin DuPont cable female to male converter or connector, the wires, it's just $1 or 57 pesos. 20 pieces for the 24mm button. I used 16 of them, or at least 15, and I have 4 more extras here, so it's not that bad. It's 300 pesos. One luminescent blue 30mm button, which I like because it's quite bigger. And then a 2.8mm terminal connector set is 177 pesos in bulk. I bought this together with a lot of other terminal connectors which I could use with some different projects or repairs here at home. So technically it doesn't cost that much. The craft box, I just researched online the price because I just found this one laying around here. And I said, why not try it there, because I really want to try the layout first. For those who doesn't have drills, it's a craft box build, or if you want to do with something harder or material something harder, For example, you would like to use a plastic box, you would need a drill for it or something to cut it with. I just did a quick research online. It's around 300 pesos or 5.33. I won't add this to the total, but at least I am acknowledging that some people doesn't have the tools that I have. But basically, this is a solderless build because we are ordering the pre-soldered version. I technically just needed the long nose plier for me to crimp the terminal connector set. If you have a terminal crimper, which would work better, but for me, the long nose plier worked fine, and I just did a quick search. It's around 50 pesos or just a dollar or under a dollar. So let's get on to the video on how to use or build your RP2040 and connect it with the buttons. Hi guys, so this is me from the video, not doing a short PowerPoint presentation. So I am using the RP2040 as said in the video. So first of all, we need to set this up in our desktop. Okay, so here we are now in the website for the firmware for our RP2040. So just go to gp2040.ce.info, go to downloads, and then just click the WaveShare RP2040. So just go to download. This would get you into a download directly for the download. So I'm just going to put it here for my HITBOX folder. I just made a folder and name it GP2040. Yeah. So just save it to your folder, and now you would have the firmware for the RP2040. Okay, so from there, let's go back to our website and then click on installation. Once you click on installation, this would be just the step-by-step installation on how to flash the firmware that we downloaded from this website. Okay, so here we are. As you can see in the website, it just says that we need to plug in our web RP2040 while holding the boot button. So just press that until you hear a click, then plug in, and you should see the RP1 to RP2. Now once we have the RPI RP2 device open in our Windows device, so we need to open our firmware where we put our downloaded firmware earlier. Now, for now, we can just drag and drop our firmware and automatically it would flash and do a restart for our device. So we can just copy if you want to, and then go to RPI RP2 firmware, and then just you can right click and paste it here. It will be the same way as if you're dragging and dropping. So once it's there, it would restart, and you can see that it should be a controller. So you can go to your Windows desktop controller check. So this is what we would be seeing. So for now, we don't have inputs for it because we don't have wired any buttons. So let's get to the wiring. Okay, so now to understand the wiring, we need to we can close the installation and download, and then just go to the wiring. We will need to scroll down until we see the WaveShare RP2040. Now for that, we would be cutting a lot of wires. This is a solderless build. So I'll be showing you what wires we are using. And for now, we would be using these DuPont jumper connectors to put in our pre-soldered RP20400. So you can see it fits perfectly in each of the connectors, so we won't have any problems putting them in, as and all of it would fit side by side if we fill in all of these connectors. So before that, I would just be cutting this with our the scissors or a cutter, and then stripping some of the cables for connecting for our EC terminal connectors. Now these are my terminal connectors. I had some extra laying around, but I opt to purchase a little bit more, but because they're really cheap, it's around 150 pesos for this 40 pieces. We would be needing the 2.8 millimeters connector, and then just to test, this is a really fairly cheap button for me just to test out. And then you see it fits, so we would be daisy chaining this one for grounds, and then the other one is for the input. And then so we can do it so that it can still be replaceable in case we want to upgrade buttons down the line. Okay, so what I will do is mark out this one in my craft box, and then proceed to cut this out. And if I can, I'll still be putting a start and select here or somewhere above again. These craft boxes are fairly cheap, and it's easily way more accessible and easier to cut without tools than a plastic container. So for future upgrades, if you want or if you can use a plastic container. But for me, for now, I'll be using this craft box for the sense of making sure or showing that the concept of your DIY hitbox can work regardless of its case. So now everything's done, ignore the tape job. I'm just gonna do some wiring, and after that I'm gonna show how I daisy chained the ground and then added each of the terminals to it. For that, I'm gonna use this long nose clipper, long nose plier, and some. These are what I would use. I would flash them on the screen later for clarity. So here we are. I'm just daisy chaining, stripping the wires, and connecting the wires to a terminal. This is for the ground. So here is a still image of me finishing the wiring and attaching everything to the RP2040. I just followed the wiring guide on the website and then tried to attach a USB Type-C cable. If you don't have a USB Type-C cable, then you can add that to the total cost. So this is the front of the look of the hitbox. I adjusted it a little bit because of me boring holes at the wrong size. And I added some tape for extra protection from sweat or something else. But yeah, so far it works good. I'll be adding a video after this for its performance and gameplay use. And if you don't have, or if you do have already your Type-C cable, the total cost of this project is around 790 to 800 pesos. If you don't have a Type-C braided cable, any data cable would work. You can just search on our marketplaces and purchase from there, and it would definitely add to your cost. Because of it adding to your cost, please take consideration the current date that I've recorded this, some shipping fees depending on your location, and your ability to crimp your wires. So that's it. I hope you enjoy. Please watch a video of me using the Hitbox controller on Street Fighter 6. And please like and subscribe and comment if you have any questions. I'll answer as much as I can. Thank you.
So this is it.
Yeah, so here we are. Please like and subscribe. Everything works fine. No medium high punch, no kick, medium kick, high kick, drive rush, drive impact, and then drive parry. Everything's fine. Recording, directions, jump, start, and then select. Let's try combo again. I think I did it too late. Yeah, it's too late. So I'm gonna try it one more time. There you go.
Yeah, it's way easier. Oh,
It's very easy.
that's right.
Everything's crisp. The black buttons are like blue switches. I can't do the general kicks, the crazy kicks yet. It's a skill issue. It's not the tool issue. But so far so good. All the chips or the switches are working fine. All the buttons are working fine. So yeah.
So yeah,
After
it's
that,
working fine.
let's try
Let's look at how
my Zangief
I
grabs.
do my 360 with Zangief.
If I can do some 360s or some combos at least with the three. That's not the
Oh,
so
it's very easy.
it's just a matter of me getting used to.
I just need to
it's
practice the
very
timing.
So let's try the level 3.
Ooh,
It's way easier and not
that's really
painful
easy.
to the wrist. This is really awesome. Yeah, I think hitbox is better one more time. Better combo. Yeah, it's a practice thing. I only do SPDs, so I'm gonna try it again here. Yeah, it's about the
Just need to
timing,
get used to it.
everything. So I hope you have fun, enjoy. Thank you.